Supposing you could invite your friend to dinner at your house and you could give them anything at all for a meal, what would you serve them? Go on, list all the dishes you'd like to see on the table. Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. I wonder what kind of dishes all of you listed. I'm sure it was a long list of delicious food, as everyone enjoys a special dinner. Well, today's story is a tale from India about a cat and a parrot who agree to invite each other to dinner. But turns out the cat is very, very greedy and very, very mean, and so the dinner is not quite what the parrot had hoped for. Before we begin, a reminder to parents and grown-ups that this is a tale that's rather similar to those old vintage fairy tales that involve some scenes that, although funny for most children, might be a little scary for very young children or very sensitive little souls. So if you think that might be your little listener, mums and dads, you might want to take a listen to this story first for yourself and then decide. Now, let's take a journey with The Cat and the Parrot. Once there was a cat and a parrot, and they had agreed to ask each other to dinner, turn and turn about. First the cat should ask the parrot, then the parrot should invite the cat, and so on. It was the cat's turn first. Now, the cat was very mean. He provided nothing at all for dinner except a pint of milk, a little slice of fish, and a biscuit. The parrot was too polite to complain, but he did not have a very good time. When it was his turn to invite the cat, he cooked a fine dinner. He had a roast of meat, a pot of tea, a basket of fruit, and best of all, he baked a whole clothes basket full of little cakes. Little brown, crispy, spicy cakes. Oh, I should say as many as 500. And he put 498 of the cakes before the cat, keeping only 2 for himself. Well, the cat ate the roast and drank the tea and sucked the fruit, and then he began on the pile of cakes. He ate all the 498 cakes, and then he looked around and said, "I'm hungry. Haven't you anything to eat?" "Why," said the parrot, "here are my 2 cakes if you want them." The cat ate up the 2 cakes, and then he licked his chops and said, "I am beginning to get an appetite. Have you anything to eat?" Well, really," said the parrot, who was now rather angry. "I don't see anything more unless you wish to eat me." He thought the cat would be ashamed when he heard that. But the cat just looked at him and licked his chops again, and slip, slop, gobble, down his throat went the parrot. Then the cat started down the street. An old woman was standing by, and she had seen the whole thing, and she was shocked that the cat should eat his friend. "Why, cat," she said, "how dreadful of you to eat your friend the parrot." "Parrot indeed," said the cat. "What's a parrot to me? I've a great mind to eat you too." And before you could say Jack Robinson, slip, slop, gobble, down went the old woman. Then the cat started down the road again, walking like this, because he felt so fine. Pretty soon he met a man driving a donkey. The man was scolding the donkey to hurry him up, and when he saw the cat, he said, "Get out of my way, cat! I'm in a hurry and my donkey might tread on you." donkey indeed, said the cat. Much I care for a donkey. I have eaten 500 cakes. I've eaten my friend the parrot. I've eaten an old woman. What's to hinder my eating a miserable man and a donkey? And slip, slop, gobble, down went the old man and the donkey. Then the cat walked on down the road jauntily, and after a little he met a procession coming that way. The king was at the head, walking proudly with his newly married bride, and behind him were his soldiers marching, and behind them were ever and ever so many elephants walking 2 by 2. The king felt very kind to everybody because he had just been married, and he said to the cat, "Get out of my way, cat, get out of my way. My elephants might hurt you." "Ha, hurt me," said the cat, shaking his fat sides. "Ha ha, I've eaten 500 cakes. I've eaten my friend the parrot. I've eaten an old woman. I've eaten a man and a donkey. What's to hinder my eating a beggarly king?" And slip, slop, gobble, down went the king, down went the queen, down went the soldiers, and down went all the elephants. Then the cat went on, more slowly. He had really had enough to eat now. But a little further on he met 2 land crabs scuttling along in the dust. "Get out of our way, cat!" they squeaked. "Ha ha!" cried the cat in a terrible voice. "I've eaten 500 cakes. I've eaten my friend the parrot. I've eaten an old woman, a man with a donkey, a king, a queen, his men at arms, and all his elephants. And now I'll eat you too." And slip, slop, gobble, down went the 2 land crabs. When the land crabs got down inside, they began to look around. It was very dark, but they could see the poor king sitting in a corner with his bride on his arm. She had fainted. Near them were the men-at-arms treading on one another's toes, and the elephants still trying to form in 2s, but they couldn't because there wasn't enough room. And in the opposite corner sat the old woman, and near her stood the man and his donkey. But in the other corner was a great pile of cakes, and by them perched the parrot, his feathers all drooping. "Let's get to work," said the land crabs, and snip, snap, they began to make a little hole in the side with their sharp claws. Snip, snap, snip, snap, till it was big enough to get through. Then out they scuttled. Then out walked the king carrying his bride. Out marched the men at arms. Out tramped the elephants 2 by 2. Out came the old man scolding his donkey. Out walked the old woman scolding the cat. And last of all, out hopped the parrot, holding a cake in each claw. You remember, 2 cakes were all he wanted. But the poor cat had to spend the whole day sewing up the hole in his coat. Well, what a greedy cat he was for sure. Would love to see some of your drawings inspired by this story. You can send us them at www.journeywithstory.com. And I wonder, what do you think this story's souvenir is? You know, the little nugget of truth about what it means to be human and live in this world. I think it must have something to do with it's usually not a good idea to be greedy like our greedy cat. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas. Oh, before we go, I have a very important announcement. Grown-ups, mums and dads, other grown-ups, please gather round. There is a special contest being held right now for podcasts. It's called the Listener's Choice Award, where you, the listeners, get to vote for your favourite podcast. If you'd like to vote for Journey with Story, you can go to www.britishpodcastawards.com and click on the Listener's Choice Awards. All the details are here in our episode notes. Take a look. It will take less than 1 minute. Thanks ever so much. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story.